Hulk. Either you're smashing the enemy team or you're smashing your keyboard. Hulk is my true love in Rivals, as I have over 800 games on him. The Mr. Green Bean is the most powerful and misunderstood tank. As the most mobile tank in the game because his mobility ability has no real cooldown. What gives me the right to be the teacher of this monster? Here's my resume. I've hit rank 200, Eternity every season, and known as a Hulk terrorist by most top 500 people. Now we can't cover everything in one quick video, so then it's more as like an introduction to the core concepts of Hulk. I'll dive into a more detailed guides on maps, team compositions, and specific strategies in future videos. For the first lesson, I want to go over what I personally think are the most important things to understand when playing Hulk. And at the end of the video, I'll include my thoughts on matchups and maps. Before we do anything, we have to know what Hulk's kit is. And it is very simple. He can punch. With a cooldown, he could punch from far away by clapping. And he could jump. The high tech of Hulk is he can punch while jumping. But in all seriousness, the most important tech you can know is you could cancel the jump charge by using the scroll wheel, and you could do a double jump by using the scroll wheel if the scroll wheel is bound to jump. Oh yeah, and he has a bubble that could bubbles him and nearby allies. That being said, you're most likely just going to use it on yourself to dodge crowd control abilities. So the first thing to do in order to survive on Hulk is you have to understand some level of danger zones. You have to understand where you get hurt more than others. And usually that's just based on how much cover you have. So areas like here would be really dangerous. We'll call them like red zones, as there's no cover and you could be shot at by everyone. Things like high grounds and next to corners are like safer. You still get shot at, but you get shot less. You can hide easier. These are yellow zones. You're caution, you're safe, but you're not super safe. And then you have like really, really safe ones where there's like multiple corners away from you. You're super good. There's a health pack next to you. You have a wall. You have like ways to hide super fast. And you have to understand on Hulk, you have to contest all three of these zones. You have to go back to your supports and help them when they're in these little like cubbies. You have to go contest their supports in their cubbies. And you have to play on point. But knowing when to do each one is how you play Hulk. You have to know where you should be and when you're allowed to be there. Okay, we'll cut right there. The first zone you should contest as Hulk are these red zones. These are regularly where the enemy tanks will be and where you start the push. I try to be in these zones when I have more than 80% of my HP. And my bubble or my stun, my E, is off cooldown. I want at least 1/2 of my cooldowns in order to be in this zone and feel safe. I usually tend to leave the zone when I fall below 50% or I have no cooldowns. And then I reset and it only take like for 3 seconds and then I go back in. As Hulk, you're allowed to jump in and out as often as you want. You just have to know when to leave and when to join in. Next, let's talk about the yellow zones. These are mainly your job, as you're not usually the main tank. Your Mag or your Strange or your Emma should be the one frontlining for most of it. And your job is to control 1 or 2 of these yellow zones. You can't control all of them, but your goal is usually to live in a yellow zone for as long as possible without being pushed away. On this map, I try to put myself on this high ground as much as possible when I'm attacking. But again, I probably leave this area once I fall between 40 and 30%, or I have no cooldowns. 30% HP I'd leave, 40% I'm looking to leave, and then when I have 0 cooldowns, I try to leave like immediately. And leaving doesn't have to mean back to your team. There's 2 health packs over here, one right away, and then one like a little bit further. And just jumping to both of those takes like 2 seconds, and you'll be full HP again. So it's not always necessary for you to have to leave the team fight by running to your team with double jumping. than it is to just go and find other health packs across the map. Last up are the safe zones for the enemy team. When you're pushing on attack, the safe zones for the enemies are these two areas. You really only want to like go for the safe zones when you see one support by themselves, or you know that both supports will have to heal each other to save each other. Only then do I ever go to an enemy support's green area. I love contesting the yellow zones as they are usually where you get your most value. But if you see two supports by themselves in a green zone, you definitely want to push them as you're one of the only people that can. My personal rollout for this map will be to go up this back alley, jump over this bridge. Usually they break it, so to jump over. And then I scout for the rocket res. It's usually right here or back here. And I'll look down, I'll look right here, and I'll look right there for it. If not, I go around and I contest this yellow zone, and I should have 100% of my HP and all my cooldowns, all 3 of my CD cooldowns. Now let's talk about the 3 easiest characters to go against as Hulk. Hulk loves to go against double shield, as the main goal during double shield is to just hit the enemy. Hit the enemy's shield, make them scared, make them back up. You just want to play with your team and just punch the shields. Now, because Hulk is such a mobile hero, if you ever see a rocket res chip, you have to go for rocket reses. You have so much utility to kill any rocket res, so you should just always run towards it no matter what. It's a free kill, and you'll never lose from it. The final main goal you could have on Hulk is whenever you're against a Loki is to force runes. It's really simple. Usually only takes you 1 to 3 punches to force them out. And it does a lot of value. It weakens them by a lot. It forces them to run away, to use ultis, or anything else. Always try to force runes as early as you can when you're against the Loki. For the last part, let's talk about what Hulk is weak to. No one character counters Hulk. Hulk is weak to abilities that stop his jump charge. These are stuns and displacement abilities. I think anything less than 6 of these abilities will make Hulk playable, but the dream is to have 3 or less on the enemy team. However, when I say there's a lot of abilities that displace or stun, I'm not lying. Some heroes have multiple abilities that do this, so characters like Emma and Bucky would be strong against Hulk. In this game, we have a multiple top 10 players in this lobby. And they're running double dive with the Psylocke and the Iron Fist. And so I want to do more of like a peeling Hulk. But like how I peel on Hulk isn't the one where like you see yourself, but like the impact is there, but you're not noticed. What I mean by that is I go to stun the Iron Fist to try to get him off of my supports. He blocks it, which, you know, it happens. At which point, I try to help my Loki. Now, my Loki, Logan, one of the best Lokis in the world, has no runes for 30 seconds. So he's going to be weak for the next 30 seconds. And going against double dive, it'll be really hard for him to heal while trying to live against them. So how I peel isn't, I don't AFK on him to bubble, but I know who's going to go target him, so I go try to get him. Instead of staying on my Loki to bubble, I opt to chase this guy around for 30 seconds. For 30 seconds, I will just chase this guy around the entire map. I go back point for 1 second. I go back home. I go back to point to just see if everyone else is okay. If everyone's okay, I go back to chasing. It seems like my front line is doing fine. You know, I got my DPS full health, my tank. Immediately turn back to go for the Iron Fist. I'm just trying to stall. Just waiting for my Loki to get his runes back. At that point, you know, I leave, right? He just got his runes back. I'm done. You know, I no longer need to peel the guy. Like my Loki doesn't need help anymore because his runes are back, which is unfortunate because immediately after I did the 30 seconds, he had to use them again. But I gave him enough time to build his ultimate, which then he copied and then used his ultimate. At this point, the last little bit, because I spent the entire minute just running one guy like in a corner, my ultimate is so behind everyone else's. So I'm using this Luna's ult for opportunity, just to get ult charge. You know, I'm just here to just punch worthless damage, just to do it. Now I see their supports in the back, so I kind of want to help get them a little bit off my team. And also, I know that the Valentina will heal Bend, so I want to bubble and then get between them, right? So at this point, Luna can't heal the tank. It's very common to just like stand behind the tank to body block or to just like block heals or anything. You just always want to be a sandwich between two people. And then I make her back up a little bit, but I really don't care. And I just want to go back to point to help out because the Bucky is more of a threat than the heals. I don't want to spend so long chasing heals when people need help on point. In this ultimate, there are two little fun facts that I just want to make sure you guys know. Which the first one is that you can block the stuns from like Luna. Like Luna tried to stun me when I jumped in, and I blocked the stun by ulting. You become a CC immune just during the animation. And the second is that it's very easy to juggle when there's a wall. Walls help juggle so much. The ability to like hit them on a wall and make them have a predictable path is so nice. So whenever you can, try to like hit them on walls, so then they're straight in one axis, and then you're able to just stun lock them, and they just kill. It's the easiest way to juggle. Juggling is the easiest when you use a wall. Using walls make it like 3 times easier. It's as if there's another person helping you out. Thanks for watching my Hulk guide. I'll be showing off more tips for Hulks. I'll probably be doing map rollouts if wanted. I stream every day on twitch.tv/RoshansRivals. I play basically only Hulk and supports because I cannot aim, and yet somehow I find myself in the highest elo lobbies.